Hi, my name's Kim. I'm an introvert who travels the world whilst being on a tight budget, and today we're going to be looking at your frequently asked questions about travel. There are always different questions that come up about travel, and basically it covers a wide variety of genres, from what should I do if I'm traveling alone to how do I eat places if I'm vegetarian. So we'll go have a look at all of those plus more in this video, so let's just get into it. I have a long layover, what can I do? It depends on how long your layover is and when in the day it is. For example, a few years ago I was travelling to Canada and I had a really long layover in Gatwick. It was about a 9-hour layover I had between my train and my plane. And because it was in the middle of the night, I literally just found a bench and slept, set an alarm, went to my plane, went on holiday. But if you're lucky enough that your layover is during the day, you can actually do something with that time because there'll be places open. So one of the things that you can do, if you've got enough time, you can go into the closest city to the airport. You can catch some public transport, go into the city and have a whistle-stop tour of it. The next thing you can do is see if there's a local cuisine place close to the airport or even at the airport, and have a taste of the cuisine and the food without having to leave a very big perimeter of the airport. And the last thing that you can do is basically set up camp at the airport, do some work, have a nap, play on your phone, read a book, do what you want, just take your time to relax. And if you're going to do this, make sure that you stay close to a power outlet, so your camp is close to electricity so you can actually charge your technology if this is what you decide to do. My flight has been delayed / cancelled. What can I do? It depends on where you're travelling to and from and what your airline's policy is. But I've been really lucky in all the years I've been travelling. On the hundreds and hundreds of planes I've been on, I've only had 2 flights cancelled and I've been diverted once. And like I said, I've been on hundreds and hundreds of flights, so the odds of that happening are quite slim. So what happened to me in those situations? So my flight had been cancelled and I got rebooked onto a flight the next day. So they put me up in a hotel. One of them I had vouchers for the restaurant at the hotel so I could have food, and on the other one I was told to spend money on food and then claim it back with receipts. Basically they give you, like, you can spend $20 on lunch and $30 on dinner. You get given a budget. But if you keep the receipts, you can submit them then. On my diverted flight, it was a little bit different. We were meant to be flying from Vancouver to London Heathrow, and we ended up being diverted to Toronto. Because we were diverted and not cancelled, basically what we did in that situation was stayed in the departure lounge. Because we were international territory, we weren't actually allowed to leave the departure lounge because we'd have to go through customs and things like that then, and they didn't want us to do that because even though we were overall 9 hours late landing in Heathrow, we were only actually 7 hours in Toronto, so there was no point them putting us up in hotels and, you know, for the sake of us getting like 3 hours sleep. So what they did in that situation was they gave us food, snacks and drinks at the departure lounge. They brought like a little trolley around and gave us food. They gave me 1 phone call to be able to phone somebody to let them know that we'd been delayed, and this is in a time before electronic devices. So this was, oh, how many years ago? I was like 14, 15 at the time. I was travelling by myself. I used to do that quite a lot. So everybody didn't have mobile phones, so they let me phone 1 person for free. And they also gave us all blankets so we could sleep on a bench or on the floor in the airport. In all those situations though, be aware that I was flying back to the UK, and the amount of protection that you get when you're flying as a customer does vary depending on what country you're flying into or out of, because the UK is currently kind of part of EU regulations. EU regulations on flights actually are very generous towards the customer. So there's a lot of things that airlines have to do for you that are in EU law. But for example, if you were flying domestic in America, the airline doesn't have to do a thing for you. If your flight is cancelled, sort her out yourself, mate. Obviously this depends on what the airline's willing to do for you, but within law they don't have to do anything. They don't have to put you up in a hotel or buy you food or do anything. It's worth doing your own research to see what would happen in those situations. Make sure then that you have enough money available for you to be able to access just in case something does happen, and make sure that you've got really good travel insurance to cover you for any unforeseen problems as well. Can I use my phone overseas? Short answer, probably yes. Long answer, you can, but it may be expensive depending on your contract and your phone line company. It basically depends. If you live in the UK, like I just said previous, we're still covered by some EU regulations, and this includes roaming on your mobile phone. So you can use your data and your minutes, things like that, as if you were in the UK in EU countries. If you are travelling outside of the EU though, some mobile phone companies do have packages that you can add on onto your already mobile phone contract that can give you the similar sort of benefits but in other countries such as USA, Canada, Mexico. If you don't have a mobile phone contract, there's one or two things that you can do. So you can either get an add-on which will cover you for the time that you're in the other country. So you've got your data, you've got your minutes, and you know that you're covered. Or if that's going to be far too expensive, another thing you can do is just buy a SIM for the country that you're at. Do a pay-as-you-go temporarily or a SIM-only contract. That may end up being cheaper. I know that for a lot of people from USA, Canada, when you come to the UK, your mobile phone bill is a lot. I recommend buying a SIM. SIMs you can pick up from the UK so cheap. They're like £1, and then you can buy sort of a really cheap sort of add-on. Like I said, the SIM only contract, they roll from month to month. You can get sort of minutes, data, text from about £10, which is going to be way cheaper than having it on your own contract. So that's something I would recommend. Or if you're going into the EU, it may be worth just getting a UK SIM. It basically does all the same. If you don't want to pay any extra though, and you're happy to go without internet and phone calls throughout the day, what you can do is basically just use Wi-Fi hotspots and call people using things like Facebook Messenger, Zoom, WhatsApp from when you get Wi-Fi hotspots. A lot of countries you're able to get these in restaurants and hotels. Just double check how widely available Wi-Fi is in the country that you're going to, but that could be a really good option for you. Can I get Wi-Fi on the plane? Yes, probably. A lot of aeroplanes, depending on the size of the plane and where it's going, how long the journey is, you could probably buy Wi-Fi on the plane. Just be aware though, it is very expensive. Very expensive. I've never bought any yet because I'd rather just go 10 hours without internet than pay like 20 quid for it. Yeah, but probably, yeah, maybe you can get internet on the plane. I'm a woman and I want to start traveling by myself, but I'm scared. What should I bear in mind? The first thing that you need to bear in mind, and this is probably not what you want to hear, but is your own personal safety. It can be scary traveling by yourself, but if you put some safety precautions, keep them in mind whilst you're going, you don't really need to worry. You've seen me travel quite a lot by myself on this channel. You've seen me go to Madrid, Dublin, London. I'm not afraid of traveling by myself. It's because I have these sort of safety precautions in the front of my mind whenever I'm traveling. Basically, don't wear expensive clothes, expensive jewellery, sort of flaunting wealth, because that would potentially make you an easy target for thieves. Don't let people know that you're traveling alone. If you get into a conversation with somebody, let them know that your friends are close by. Like I said, even though you're not traveling with anybody, just the illusion of them knowing that your friends aren't far away may put them off doing anything. Don't look like a tourist. Don't walk around with 1,000 maps in the air and trying to find your way with paper maps. Don't do that. Look like everybody else. Download maps onto your phone and walk around as if you're absorbed in your phone. Everybody else looks the same as you then. That being said, Don't let that put you off going traveling by yourself. Traveling by yourself can be amazing. It helps you gain confidence, you learn to talk to strangers better, you get to be comfortable in your own company, you get to do what you want when you want. You basically get to push yourself out of your comfort zone, whilst being safe obviously. So there's no problem with you going traveling by yourself as long as you keep those safety precautions in mind. Go, explore the world, have fun, just be savvy when you do it. How do you keep your belongings safe when you're traveling by yourself? Padlocks and a bike lock. A bike lock might seem like a weird thing for me to say, but trust me, it has come in so handy. So basically what you can do with a bike lock is, if you're planning on having a nap or you're traveling by yourself so you haven't got anybody to watch over your stuff, you can put the bike lock through the handles of your bag and basically attach it to a chair or a solid table, and if somebody goes to take it, it's basically attached to stuff. Make sure that you padlock your bag as well though, because it might be all very well that your bag is attached to something, but if they can just go into your bag and take things, you basically, you're left with a bag with nothing in it. So padlock your bag as well, but bike lock is so handy. How would you take pictures of yourself when you're traveling alone and you've got nobody to take the pictures for you? I have a mini tripod and a remote clicker which I use to take photos of myself. A lot of the photos on my Instagram are actually taken by myself. My little tripod has a mobile phone holder, and my little clicky is what I call it, the remote trigger, is Bluetooth, so it connects to the phone, so every time you press the button it takes a photo. That's the easiest way that I found to take photos, but some people use self timers and some people are happy to let strangers take photos of them or for them. Being a vegetarian, do you ever have food problems when you're traveling? Yes. The thing is, there's some things that you think are safe to eat, but it turns out they're not. Like in America, for some reason, there's meat or some kind of meat byproduct in the fries at McDonald's, and you think that chips would be a safe option. So the key is to research things before you leave. When I go places, I always try and make sure that I've kind of got like a safe meal in mind. For example, when I go to Greece, I know that if I don't understand anything on the menu, odds are they're going to have Greek salad, tzatziki and bread, and all that is fine for vegetarians. But one good thing that you can do is make sure that you know I'm vegetarian or I don't eat meat and fish in the language of the country that you're going. So then if you end up going somewhere where nobody speaks English, you at least can try and communicate that to them. But there are going to be some places that you can go where the menu is pretty standard around the world. I mean, like Subway, Domino's, Chipotle. You can find vegetarian options in those places pretty easy. So worst case scenario, I know you'd rather taste the local cuisine, but if you're in a bind, you can always go to those places and know that you can get food. How do I eat healthy when I'm traveling? Don't get me wrong, I'm probably the first person to advocate treating yourself whilst you're on holiday, but at the same time, you don't want to go completely mad. The best way that I know how to is basically start your day right. Start your day with some fresh fruit or some juice, and you know that you're starting the day on a good foundation. Even if the rest of the day just goes to pot and you end up eating like chocolate and pizzas for the rest of the day, at least you've started the day with some fruit. Always have your refillable water bottle on you as well, so that you can keep hydrated. You can top up your water bottle as you're going throughout the day. A lot of cuisines around the world as well are actually quite healthy, so eat like the locals do, and odds are you're going to be eating pretty healthy anyway. Why is airplane food so bland? A mixture of the low pressure and the dryness of the cabin air actually makes your taste buds 30% less sensitive to sweet and salty food. 80% of taste is actually smell as well, and I don't know if you noticed, if you go on long haul flights, your nose kind of gets really dry, and that's going to be blocking sort of taste receptors too. Airline chefs try and overcome this by adding extra seasoning to your food, but it sometimes doesn't always work, does it? So one thing I'd recommend is if you're going to be on a long haul flight, take some snacks with you just in case the food's terrible. How many times have you been on a flight where they've given you like a tasteless sandwich or like a cake that tastes like nothing? Just take snacks, you'll be fine. Do I need to be rich to travel? No, not at all, no way. You can travel with little money. I'll give you an example of things that I've done. I've gone to Venice on holiday. This includes flights and accommodation for £100. I've gone to Madrid, flight and accommodation again, all the things that I did, food, everything, £150. I've caught a ferry from Wales to Ireland. It cost me £2. I spent a whole day in London and ate so much food and I spent no money. You literally do not need money to travel. You just need a sense of adventure and a sort of a can-do attitude, and you can almost go anywhere. You can do what you want. You don't let money or lack of money hold you back from going on adventures. If you want to go somewhere, you'll figure out a way. Do you know what? Actually, some of the best holidays that I've been on have been the ones where I've gone with hardly any money, because you're more inventive with where you go and you try different food because you're like, I've got no money, where can I go get food? It makes it more fun in my view if you actually go travelling on a tight budget. So give it a go. Go to a place that's not that far away from you and see what you can do on a tenner. Have fun, enjoy yourself, and you'll soon learn that you don't have to be rich to go travelling anywhere. I'm not rich, I travel all the time. Do you have any questions about travel that I haven't answered in this video? Let me know in the comments down below and I'll do my best to try and answer them for you. I release quick small wins travel edition videos on my IGTV every Wednesday. So if you're interested in really short form, informative travel information, I'd recommend going onto my Instagram and watching those videos. That's at Awkwardly Kim Travel. I live stream on this channel every Monday and Friday at 6 PM UK time, and I release a new video every Monday and Friday 7 PM UK time. So make sure that you subscribe and ring those notification bells so that you are informed every time I live stream or I release a video. But if you want to watch that video that I mentioned about me travelling in London with no money, I'll pop that up here. And if you want to watch me travel in Madrid with only £150, I'll put that video there. But I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you again. Enjoy your life. Ta-da!